You ever notice how 6 p.m. somehow becomes 7:15 and nobody's even surprised anymore? Like we've all just collectively agreed that time is optional now. Your friend said they were leaving. That was 40 minutes ago. You know exactly where they are right now. Still at home. Probably still deciding between two identical black shirts. And here's the wild part, they're not trying to disrespect you. They genuinely believe they're about to leave. Their brain is just living in a completely different time zone than the rest of us. Being chronically late isn't a cute personality quirk. It's not because you're spontaneous or creative or living in the moment. There's real psychology underneath it. And the truth nobody talks about? Not all late people are late for the same reason. Some are drowning in delusion. Some are quietly screaming for help. And some, whether they admit it or not, kind of like the chaos. Once you figure out which one you are, you might finally stop pretending you're 5 minutes away when you haven't even left your couch. Let's talk about the first type. The magical thinker. This is the person who looks at a 30-minute drive and confidently says, I can do that in 12 minutes if I really focus. They'll schedule a meeting at 2 p.m., a coffee date at 2:30, and a haircut at 3, and genuinely believe this is fine. Reality is more of a suggestion to them. They're not stupid. They're not careless. They're just operating under a beautiful, completely inaccurate belief that the universe bends around their schedule. Psychologists call this the planning fallacy. It's when your brain conveniently forgets every single time you've been late before and convinces you that this time, everything will go perfectly. No traffic. No forgetting your wallet. No suddenly needing to pee right before you walk out the door. The magical thinker's brain is like a goldfish with a planner. Every trip feels like the first trip. They've driven to work 500 times, been late 490 of those times, and still think tomorrow they'll leave at 8:20 and arrive by 8:30. The math has never worked. It will never work. But hope is a powerful drug. You'll know you're dealing with a magical thinker when they say things like, I don't understand what happened, I left on time. No. You left at the time you imagined you could leave and still make it. That's not the same thing. They'll also do this thing where they add getting ready time but forget travel time exists. Or they remember travel time but completely erase the part where they have to find parking, walk, check in, whatever. Their brain is just selectively deleting steps like a highlight reel. It's honestly kind of impressive how consistently wrong they can be. Now here's where it gets more complicated. The second type. The secret dreader. And this one hits different because the lateness isn't about time at all. It's about emotion. This person is late because on some level, they really don't want to go. Maybe it's a social thing and they're anxious. Maybe it's a work thing and they're burnt out. Maybe they said yes to something weeks ago and have been quietly regretting it ever since. So their subconscious starts sabotaging. Suddenly they're exhausted even though they slept fine. Suddenly there's a very important email they have to send right now. Suddenly they're deep cleaning the bathroom or reorganizing a drawer or doing literally anything except getting ready to leave. And the crazy part? They're not faking. They genuinely feel this urgency to do these random tasks. Because their brain is throwing up every possible distraction to avoid the thing they don't want to face. This is avoidance behavior pretending to be bad time management. The lateness isn't the issue. It's a symptom. And if you're someone who's always late to certain things but weirdly, suspiciously on time for others, yeah, your brain is trying to tell you something. You're never late to concerts or trips or dinner with your favorite person. But a work meeting? A family obligation? Suddenly you're moving in slow motion and you can't figure out why. It's because part of you is protecting you from something that feels uncomfortable or draining or just wrong. Maybe it's a boundary you didn't know how to set. Maybe it's a relationship that doesn't feel good anymore. Maybe it's a job that's slowly killing your spirit. Your lateness is your body's way of saying, I don't want to be here, when your mouth keeps saying, yeah, I'll be there. And look, I get it. You can't just skip everything you don't feel like doing. But when your lateness has a pattern, when it's specific and consistent, that's worth paying attention to. Because you're not lazy. You're just trying to avoid something your brain has labeled as a threat. Then there's the third type. And oh, this one's going to sting a little. The main character. This is the person who's late because on some quiet, unspoken level, they kind of enjoy it. They like the entrance. They like people noticing they arrived. They like being the person everyone was waiting for. They've never said this out loud. They'd be horrified if you accused them of it. But watch their behavior. Watch how they move when they finally show up. There's a subtle performance happening. A little apology that doesn't quite sound sorry. A little laugh like, classic me, right? This ties into something psychologists call perceived social value. It's this unconscious belief that important people don't wait, they're waited for. Think about it. CEOs are late to meetings. Celebrities show up fashionably late. The person everyone wants to see arrives last. So if you're late, maybe that means you're in demand. Maybe that means your time is more valuable. Maybe that means you matter. Obviously, that's not what they're consciously thinking. But behavior tells the truth. And if someone is consistently late and there's always a little bit of flair to the apology, a little bit of oh my god you guys, I'm so sorry, but not enough sorriness to actually change. Yeah. They're getting something out of it. The main character doesn't think they're better than you. But they do think their time might be just a little more complicated, a little more cinematic, a little more worthy of accommodation. And the messed up part? It often works. People do wait. People do adjust. People do make room. So the behavior gets reinforced. The lateness becomes part of their brand. And everyone just kind of accepts it because what else are you going to do? Here's the thing though. No matter which type you are, lateness isn't actually about time. It's about control, or lack of it. The magical thinker is trying to control reality by believing they can bend it. The secret dreader is trying to control their exposure to discomfort by delaying it. The main character is trying to control how they're perceived by making people wait. It's all control. And that's why just setting more alarms or leaving earlier doesn't fix it. Because the issue isn't logistics. It's emotional. If you're the magical thinker, you need to grieve the fantasy. You need to accept that you're not going to suddenly become a person who gets ready in 10 minutes. You're not. You never have been. Stop planning your life like you're a different person. Add buffer time. Double your estimates. Accept that you are someone who needs more time than you think you do, and plan accordingly. It's not failing. It's just accurate. If you're the secret dreader, you need to get honest about what you actually want. Because showing up late and miserable helps nobody. Not them, not you. If you don't want to go, say no. If you can't say no, figure out why. What are you afraid will happen if you set a boundary? What are you protecting by saying yes to things that drain you? Your lateness is a message. Stop ignoring it, and if you're the main character, this one's tough, but you need to sit with why you need the attention. What does it give you? What does it prove? Because making people wait isn't power. It's just rude with a narrative attached. You're not more important because you arrived last. You're just late. And the people who care about you are starting to feel like they don't matter as much as whatever you were doing instead. The truth is, being on time isn't about being rigid or boring or losing your spontaneity. It's about respect. It's about saying, your time matters to me. My presence here matters to me. I'm showing up because I want to be here, and I want to be here fully, not rushed and half-present and apologizing. When you're constantly late, you're constantly starting interactions from a place of deficit. You're always behind. Always catching up. Always a little bit wrong. And that affects how you feel about yourself, even if you don't realize it, so maybe it's time to stop romanticizing the chaos. Stop laughing it off. Stop saying, "That's just how I am," like it's a zodiac sign you can't change. You can change. You just have to want to. And you have to be willing to look at what the lateness is really about. Because I promise you, it's not about traffic. You're not broken. You're not a bad person. You're just someone whose brain has learned a pattern, and patterns can be unlearned. But first, you have to know which pattern is yours. Are you bending reality? Are you avoiding discomfort? Or are you chasing a feeling? Be honest. Not with me. With yourself. If this video just called you out in a way that felt uncomfortably accurate, you're in the right place. Hit subscribe because we break down the messy, human psychology behind the stuff nobody else wants to talk about. The weird patterns. The quiet sabotage. The things we do without knowing why. And hey, if you're watching this video instead of getting ready for something you're already late to, I see you. Go put your shoes on. But come back. We've got more to unpack. See you in the next one.